Today's superintendents from the three major school districts in St. Joe County reflected on one of the most unorthodox school years ever during the State of the Schools address. They spoke to an audience at the Patel Center for the event presented by the South Bend Regional Chamber.
16 News Now reporter Jack Springate joins us live to tell us some of the biggest challenges these districts are facing. Jack.
Well, one of the things all three superintendents stressed was how important it is to have students learning in person. That was obviously a huge challenge during the height of the pandemic, and now they're seeing how keeping kids away from the classroom negatively impacted their success. Not only are these district leaders adapting to keep kids in the classroom, but also to keep them from falling behind. When South Bend students came back after nearly 18 months of virtual learning, Superintendent Dr. Todd Cummings says they knew students needed academic support to catch up. All that time at home also created a need for social emotional resources back at school too.
If you listen to our community data, domestic violence abuse is up, suicide rates are up. Our students and families are struggling. They're struggling coming back to school, learning how to stay in a classroom. Not only are they deficient academically, but socially they've not interacted.
School City of Mishawaka Superintendent Wayne Barker says that rings true for many of their students. They're investing in more academic and wraparound resources in their buildings and taking precautions to prevent sending students back to virtual, evident by their change in mask policies.
We're a mask required environment. We're going to continue all those mitigation practices that we have. I think shortly after mid-November, somewhere in there last year, we went to a completely virtual environment for our secondary schools, and we're very hopeful not to do that. You know, our number one goal this year is to provide 180 days of in-person learning, and that's what we're hopeful to do.
Penn Harris-Madison Superintendent Dr. Jerry Thacker noticed how students from families with financial struggles performed even worse than the average student when learning virtually. They've adjusted their start of school masking policy and quarantine guidelines to keep students in the classroom.
If you were in a family that had a lot of resources and had somebody staying at home, the students did well, really well. When we found that the students who were most disadvantaged and had the fewest resources, maybe technology issues and such, those students didn't do as well. Our goal has to be to keep students in school.
Putting a priority on teaching kids where they learn best, in the classroom. Now, a big part of being in the classroom is that face-to-face guidance students get with their teachers. That's a role that's in very high demand right now with staff shortages across all three school districts. I'll tell you how they're working to strengthen their current staff and bring in new talent coming up at 6. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys.